Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Very excited to have Steve with Nomad RVs back on the channel. He's going to give us a tour of his Sprinter campervan conversion, and this one has a full bath in the back. So join us.
Pat, thanks for having me back. I'm Steve with Nomad RVs, here to show the latest, what we're calling the Oasis. This is a 2021 Sprinter 2500 170 non-extended two-wheel drive, and I'd love to show you this model. This van came fairly good, well equipped. We ordered them with the upgraded seats. Swivel seats are an option. We do the 10 1/4 screens, the nicer seats, the nicer backup cameras, the 360 cameras are an option. We do try to get these fairly well equipped compared to the stock chassis. Quick overview will be a center galley kitchen, two twin beds that would then convert to a nearly king size bed, and then a massive rear bath. So we're going to start up front with the kitchen. You got about 18 inches wide, 3 drawer bases. Very full depth countertop on this one too, being we didn't add the optional passenger seat by the door. You're going to have a Dometic CRX 80 fridge freezer with vent for it. And then you're going to have the sink base. Now, I'll explain it more when we talk about the shower, but this one does have, separately of the gray tank, has its own 6-gallon gray tank and extra room to the side of it. Going to the countertop here. This is a quartz, gorgeous piece of countertop that we get stores to actually write down the block from us. Great guys. We have a tile backsplash. We want to do a little bit of color. This one's just built to sell, so we add his little blues to it and something that really shows, pops, give it a little some type of color. You have 2 GFI outlets in the back. Your main switch for all your lights in this build with dimmer. And of course your water pump and hot water heater. You got your switch for your Renogy inverter, which we'll talk about when we get to the powered. And bamboo cutting board with a massively deep sink. I basically put my whole elbow deep into the sink so you can fit a lot in there. And it does have a grate and everything. It's a black stainless so it doesn't scratch. Continue with the kitchen. We have 700 watt microwave here, stainless steel, brand new as you can see. On this side there's 9 feet of upper storage, 12 by 12 cabinets, fully finished inside too. RV latches on everything. And then we swing back around to the passenger side. We have 6 feet of upper cabinets. Same thing, everything's only finished inside. RV latches. And then you have flooring wise, this is LifeProof brands, 100% waterproof flooring. Underneath that is 3/4 inch subfloor and 1/2 inch polyiso insulation. As you pop up to the ceiling, this is all cedar. Has a great smell still. It will last like this for quite some time. It's clear coated. You have 8 lights throughout that dim in this main area. And then you have your Dometic RTX 2000 12 volt air conditioning. And we'll get to the power portion of that later on in the video. You have 4 lights, reading lights here throughout the booth. This booth, or the lights rather, also have the USB ports in every single one. Charge your phones where you're hanging out. This booth is 75 inches long. You have about 25 inches width for each twin if you took off the back cushions, move them to the side. And then you have, when you convert it into a bed, it is 68 by 75, so an RV King being 72 by 75, so it's quite massive, especially in the van world. There are 2 tables, one here on a lagoon mount that can go anywhere you want, and then an additional mount with an additional table that's mounted right here. To convert this into a bed, you would take each tabletop, they mount to the tracks on the sides, they rest there on both sides. So one tabletop towards the shower, one tabletop towards the drivers. You then take the 2 cushions, the big cushions, you will slide those in to the center to meet each other, and then take the 2 back cushions and push those in down on the side to make your full bed. Insulation wall-wise, everything's Thinsulate. It's double layer, every single area. The SML 600, it's about 1 3/4 inches, so we're doubling that and getting a little extra insulation in this whole unit here, including the ceiling. You do have storage in this bench, which is pretty massive. It is about 25 inches wide, 24 inches in depth, and your height's about 17 underneath there. So we can look at the power in this bad boy. I'll move these cushions. So first up, you'll see the S-Bar S2D2 heater that has a switch on the wall about chest level where it should be. You have two 300 amp hour Enduro Power. They have 10-year warranty batteries. You have 600 amp hours total. Enduro is what we use for all our builds. Listed out of Colorado, 10-year warranty, great company. In here, you'll see the solar charge controller. That's the Victron 100/50. That's getting powered by the three 175 watt panels on the roof, so 525 total. Then you got your Lynx distributor for all your fuses, your 60 amp DC to DC charger from Energy, your 3000 watt inverter. We have separate breakers. One breaker does your outlets on the kitchen, 20 amp power there, and then one dedicated to the microwave, just like to code. You have your own breaker too, for you want to use or turn your solar off. And then you have all your fuses and everything for all your DC power. You got your main fuse and your Blue Sea cutoff switch there. Up here, this here is your lights with dimmer for your shower. And then your S-Bar S2D2 controller. Moving over to the driver's side. These cushions, 5 inches memory foam. This is Sunbrella fabric. So your high quality indoor-outdoor fabric that you have on boats, patio furniture, stuff like that, so it actually can get wet. In this section of the bench storage, you do have some extra room if needed. Good spot for tools, like a bag of tools for anything you need it in your travels. You have your 2.5 gallon 12 volt hot water heater along with your Seaflow water pump. You can see down here, especially for winterizing, there is a valve to drain, low point drain, that'll get your kitchen and your hot water tank completely drained. When we show you the fill on the back of the shower, you'll see, this is where you can see your water level. Tank is quite easily visible. The reason I went with the 12 volt hot water heater, I do it in every build. I try to do 12 volt everything so we don't rely on the inverter. So that will use only 25 amps in an hour compared to, say, the Bosch hot water people you see in a lot of builds using about 60. So it's a big difference, less than half the power. Same reason there's a 12 volt air conditioner. When you have it in eco mode, you're pulling like 12 amps in an hour, and on auto mode about 40. So combine that with all the power from the solar, on a day like today, you're pulling 0 power and having nice cold air inside here. Now let's check out this massive rear bath area. Welcome. Not only is this wet bath area massive for a shower, it could probably fit at least 3 people, probably 4 if you're feeling frisky. But this is also a great gear storage area. Think about it, if you come, let's say, from surfing, your wetsuit. You hang your wetsuit here, drips down, goes to the drain, no big deal. Mountain bikes. This vinyl tile, waterproof tile, is made in America. We can drill right through and connect anything we need to, let's say, hang skateboards, mountain bikes, hangers to make an additional closet if need be. This area is kind of like a flex space. Besides being a massive shower and wet bath area. We have other toilet options. This has a cassette toilet. We could do composting toilets or a dry flush toilet depending on the customer preference. This here, not only is it waterproof tile, it's waterproofed where it didn't even need a tile. So if this had no tile in it, you can still shower. So if anything were to happen or for some reason something got underneath it, it's going to be waterproof enough. It will drain over. There are weep holes in this drain that will collect water if it's underneath this tile and still get it to the great tank back here. This has a nice shower curtain to go across. Some people don't want a shower curtain. You could just cover the windows. Nothing really too bad's gonna happen to your doors. Or if you're out a wide open area, you keep the doors open, get a breeze, take a shower. You have here the waterproof door, squeegees as you close, hot and cold water, and your shower head that reaches everywhere. On top of having a max air fan to get any, the hot water, the steam out of there. If you're using it for a shower, you can also use it, to get vent air flowing if you don't need the air conditioning during that day. Across the back too, it is custom made with its own lip. This is all waterproof PVC. It will retain the water. Your van's generally pitched to the front anyway. That's why it drains towards that area. And you also have your fill for your 20-gallon fresh tank back here. Just in case anyone's curious about the dimensions, the main area is 31 in depth and 48 wide. As you already tell, it's pretty massive. And then your bench, you have 31 by 20. So this is a big boy. To empty everything from your great tank, you have your everything's piped 1.5 inch to your 3-inch normal gate valve for RV dumping stations. This van and all vans we ordered do have come with a hitch, 5,000 pound towing, or if you want to put your bikes off a hitch mount or something like that instead of having it inside your flex shower space. The gray tank is 12 gallons. There is a ball valve that'll drain your 20-gallon tank fairly quickly, separately of the kitchen tank, which was 6. Right, so this, what we're calling the Oasis, is made for the 170 Sprinter chassis. It could be shortened for say a ProMaster 159, but this one we really built for the size of the 170 non-extended. And we do have options: change fabric colors, cabinet colors, countertop, floor, as far as also any components too. If you want a shore power, we didn't put it in this one, we can put it in other ones. So there are a few options. Something like this, let's say if you came to us with your chassis, your van, this has a starting point pretty much as is that you would see here of about 55 to 58,000 for the conversion, and then depending on the options you would go up only slightly from there. If you want a roof rack, awning, something like that would change price slightly. That's basically where you're getting everything you see here, including the quartz countertop. Everything you see is pretty much in that price point currently. As we know, things are fluctuating. Depending when you're seeing this video, things could be drastically different one way or the other.
Now, I know this van is brand new, and so was the last 2, I believe?
Correct.
Do you work on used vans?
So we do. There's a couple used in the shop, happen to be ProMasters, just a very easy to, I guess, attainable chassis. We also basically work on what I call the big 3. So the Ford Transit, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, and the Ram ProMaster. Not really, we're not doing E-Series or anything like that and smaller type stuff. We do components instead of full builds. If you don't like cutting holes, I enjoy it. Pods, windows, fans, AC, stuff like that, or obviously full builds. We do have, chances are when you see this van actually was built to sell. I imagine when you see it, it's gone. There's already people showing up the next day. The list is already long to come see this. If you wanted an Oasis and a 4x4 chassis, I have 2 left for the year that are coming July/August allotment dates. One of them might be spoken for. The other one's definitely still available, or I might have both. And we do have a brand new 2022 4x4 that's a 144 chassis that is not really telling people about it. We're building something a little special, and Pat will be the first one to put it out there to everybody, and that'll be a spec build just to sell.
I know you have a great team at your shop. You got a beautiful shop, by the way, too. The last video we did was at your shop. What's the turnaround time for something like this?
So turnaround time for something like this, depending on how busy the shop is, I tell people 8 to 10 weeks. We've done them as fast as 6. I don't like to promise that, unless the build date was, say, far enough out where I had almost every piece of material. Are delays here and there, but generally speaking, the way we flip-flop through different builds, it's about the 8 to 10 week range.
Always a pleasure to have you on the channel. I'm sure we're going to see you again and again. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I'm going to link to your website and your social media so our guests could follow along with you. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, Pat.